Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back and I have an interesting video for you. Today I want to talk about this Esbit hard anodized cook set. Now this cook set comes with the stove, which I put wood in it all the time, but it also uses the standard Esbit fuel tablets. Okay, these are 12 grams. You can get 12 of these for just over $8. This is a hard hard anodized aluminum bowl, and it runs 16 ounces. And for some of you out there, you might want this same option, you know, to be able to use fuel tablets, but you don't really get too excited about the fact that this is hard anodized aluminum. Some people out there might actually prefer to find a pot that is stainless steel. Now Esbit has answered that question, and they have a pot that looks just like this, and it's stainless steel, and it comes with what I believe is the same exact fuel stand. Now there's an issue there though, and that is the stainless steel option from Esbit is like $35. So here's my recommendation. The Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set, 15 bucks plus the 25 bucks, so you're just $5 more. You're at $40 now, but you have two pots now, and this one will sit perfect on this stand here, which will allow you to boil your water and then have a cup to drink it. You know, this Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set is cool because it has graduation markers on it. 16 ounces right there. That's going to be 16 ounces of water. Now for $5 more, we're getting stainless steel in the Stanley. Plus we're getting the standard aluminum, and there's kind of a bonus involved, and that's 2 of these green cups from Stanley. So that's cool. So you get a lot of bang for the buck there. So we have this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple fuel tabs in here. Now these fuel tabs that you're going to see in this video, they're used. I've been burning them already for a little bit. I boiled some water earlier and made a Mountain House meal. So I'm going to stick 2 of those in there. They're partials. They're not full size, but I'm going to stick both of those in there. And these light very easily. They're not hard to light even after you use them. Look at that. They light very easily. So let's get that going. We will go ahead and put this on there and pour the water in. So we have 16 ounces of water. Now notice the soot. That's one thing about these Weber lighter cubes. I don't know why I said the word liquid. Probably because I was just pouring water. That's one downside to the lighter cubes here. They do have soot, but you know, soot and stainless steel, that's not that big of a deal for me. I'm going to go ahead and start an elapsed time. I know I'm a bit late, but we'll add a little time here at the end. Let me get my phone. Sorry about that, folks. I should have been more prepared. Let's get our stopwatch here. Reset, and we'll start. Whoops, we don't need that. Let's start. A little bit late, but it's better late than never, right? So hopefully you can see that on my phone. We'll just add maybe 20 or 30 seconds to the end of this video. So that's what we've got going on. So for 40 bucks, you can get, you know, the Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set, you can get the Esbit, and you have kind of the best of both worlds. You've got your stainless steel, and you also have, you know, and more capacity, and you have a small cup to drink. And you got the 2 green cups as well. You got 2 lids. Now this lid from the Esbit will not fit. I mean, it will fit up here, but it's a balancing act. So when the water starts to boil, that lid has a chance of falling off. Now on the other hand, the Stanley lid fits perfect right in here. Fits perfect. It's a little bit small actually, and it fits perfect. So when the water comes to a boil, your Stanley lid's going to be fine. You're not going to have no issues. So that would be my recommendation for someone who wants a stainless steel option, but they want the Esbit stove to use the fuel tablets. I really like that. I think it works good. And you're only paying $5 more. And you get more, again, more capacity, green cups, and then you get both. If you buy the stainless steel Esbit, it's $35. You get the lid, the pot, and the stove, and that's it. You know, you add $5 more, you get 2 cups, more capacity, another lid, so you have 2 lids, 2 containers. To me, that's just a better deal. So I'm going to let this camera run in real time. I'm not going to stop the video. I'm just going to let it go, and that way you can see in real time how long it takes to boil 2 cups of water. If you look at a Mountain House meal, such as this breakfast skillet, okay, and if we look at the back here of this breakfast skillet, you look at the amount of water that it needs. It calls for 1 cup, which is 8 ounces. Now, I know in this test we're doing 2 cups of water, and that's because something like this, chicken noodle, this is a 3-serving Mountain House, right? Something a little larger, it calls for 2 cups or 16 ounces. Now, if you're ever confused roughly at how much water 16 ounces is, and you don't have a Nalgene bottle or you don't have a measuring cup, you can look at the side of the cup here on either of them and get graduation markers that'll tell you where 16 ounces is. Or a standard Arrowhead water bottle like this is 16.9 ounces, which is 1 pint. So that's another thing to keep in mind when it comes to making those graduations. Now the soot, okay, that's direct reference to these fuel tabs. If you use the Esbit fuel tabs, you're going to have hardly no soot at all. They're very clean burning. But the downside to these, in my opinion, is you get 12 of these for like $8, and they run 12 tablets. They run about 12 minutes a piece. They're 12 grams of fuel per tablet, so you get 144 minutes of runtime, right? Well, on these Webers, you get 24 of them. They run about 10 minutes a piece, and the Esbit's is $8.79 for a dozen, and this you get twice as many, 10 minutes, so you get 240 minutes of runtime, and I'm paying $3.50 roughly. Now the downside to that is, of course, the soot. Now if you're out in the woods, you're camping or something like that, you're out in the trees, you got plenty of ventilation, so the soot doesn't bother me. To me, it's a fair trade-off. It's like, well, yeah, I'll trade the soot for the cheaper tablets. And they work just fine. I use them all the time. It's not hard to take this thing down to the creek and take some sand and wash it up, you know, with a rag. What I like to do is I like to delegate one rag specifically for cleaning up my Esbit when I use these terrible fuel cells, which they provide a lot of heat. They work good and they will bring your water to a boil. Again, the downside is the fact that they are dirty. But they're cheap, and sometimes that's what I'm looking for, is something cheap. Now, stainless steel is very easy to clean. In fact, even this aluminum is easy to clean. You can see that I've used these Webers on this thing all the time, and I didn't do any scrubbing when I washed it. All I used was regular dish soap and a rag. I didn't even have a scrubber on my rag. It was just a rag and dish soap, and it came out just fine. You know, you have nice graduation markers inside in ounces and in milliliters. So that's cool. You got ounces over here and milliliters on the other side. Pretty cool. Pretty nice little set. So that's my recommendation for $40. Now we are, what, 5, almost 6 minutes in, and I'm not trying to bore you by making this a long video. I'm trying to keep things in real time so that you can see exactly what's going on. Let's take a look at the water. How close are we getting to a boil? Starting to show some bubbles down there. We are approaching, well, we're just over 6 minutes, so we're doing pretty good. Let's take a look down at the fuel, and it looks like they're kind of dying because one of them was, you know, they were both partials. They weren't fresh. If I was to put 2 brand new fresh Weber cubes in there, we'd probably be boiling already. In fact, I know we would, because when I go on my backpacking trips, I usually use 2 tablets and I'm boiling in under 4 minutes, and that's 16 ounces. So to beef up the power a little bit, I could always throw in another cube. It ain't hard to do. If you're out there in the woods and you need a little more horsepower, a little more firepower, you can definitely throw in another cube, and it definitely increases your power. You can get more boiling effort out of it. And you can see that the Stanley sits on there just fine. It nests in there very well. I really like this option. I think it's a very effective option. I'm going to try to move this cube around so I get more heat where I want it. There we go. Heat's actually coming straight up the back. You could use a stick if you're out in the woods. You can definitely hear the heat amping up here. In fact, we're at a light boil now, and that just adding that extra cube made a big difference. So we are approaching 8 minutes. Let's take another look. Pretty close. So if I wanted to steep tea or make coffee or even cook a mountain house, that's a good viable option. So in my opinion, I wouldn't pay, you know, $35 just for this in stainless steel. I'd add another $5 and I'd run this setup that I'm showing you here. 8.5 minutes, we are at a light rolling boil. Normally if I start with 2 cubes right off the bat, I'm boiling in around 4 minutes. And when I call a boil, when I say boil, I'm talking about a good hard rolling boil. So we're at the 9-minute mark approaching. Look at that, we have a good solid rolling boil. Let's stop the time. 9 minutes, and we are boiling very nice. So when you're finished, you can grab the handles here, and they're not hot. You can pour the water right in there. There's going to be soot on the bottom here, you can see that. And another cool thing about having another pot is you can use it as a snuffer to snuff out the flame, or you could blow on it. So what that does, that puts those out so that you can use them again. So that, folks, is my recommendation. If you were going to spend, you know, $35 to $40, I'd recommend just going with the $40 option and getting what I'm showing here in this video. And I don't get no money from Stanley, I don't get nothing from Esbit. This is just my honest opinion of what I think is effective, and I hope this video helps you out. Now, some of you might have been wondering if this Esbit stove will fit in the Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set, and the answer is yes, it will fit in there, but it doesn't fit all the way down. Now, the other question that you might have in your mind is, will it fit with one of the green cups? So if we drop a green cup down there, it won't quite fit. So you kind of have to sacrifice I don't know if I could put a green cup upside down maybe and try it. Maybe the little feet will fit around it. Nope. Will it go upside down? Nope. So if you're going to put the stove in there, you have to get rid of the green cups. So there's kind of a trade-off there. Just kind of depends on what you want. And if you've got all your little fuel tablets, whatever kind of fuel that you're using, you could set your fuel tabs in there. If this is what you're going to want to do for your package. And then of course you put your lid on there, strap that baby down, and there you got it. So you got the Stanley Adventure Camp cook set with the fuel tablets on the stove. And another thing I want to talk about that's really nice is this handle. If you slide this bar forward, it doesn't allow you to pinch these together, and as a result of that, it locks this handle in place, and you don't have that option of locking your handle on this pot. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. And here is what the pot looks like after a couple minutes of washing with just dish soap and a rag. No scrubbing, just a rag and some dish soap. So there was no scrubby or anything like that. Just a wash rag with dish soap. So it worked out pretty good for me. I think it's a very effective option. I really do. So I want to say thank you for stopping by today, watching this video. I hope you got some good, useful information out of it. Please feel free to leave your comments down below. Like this video, share this video, and if you like the type of content that you see on my channel, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And until next time, thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll talk to you later.